Oh.
Namdu, Namdu. Namdu. All right. So, 18 years later, RCB has finally put together a trophy winning campaign. I think we saw it coming since the auction. Nobody wanted to jinx it. Um, I am wearing a non RCB shirt because I had to go through a lot of last minute adjustments to make this happen. Everybody, present to you the result of the bet that took place earlier this year.
Congrats, guys.
Congrats indeed.
Thanks.
So, for
Red
those
and
of you
gold
who,
looks good on you, Shruti.
yeah, red and gold looks beautiful on you.
First and last time.
Second time actually, because
Second
you wore
time,
it last.
actually.
So yeah, for those of you who don't know, the terminologies of the bet were as follows: if RCB won the trophy, then Shruti would show up on our live stream wearing the RCB jersey and say a few words, which we will make her say. If RCB did not win the trophy, then Sumuk would show up wearing a CSK jersey, and he would also have to take a picture with Shruti, which was what.
Didn't
And keep
happen.
it as a DP for 6 months.
Oh, that was also a part. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
No, it wasn't.
Now,
Conditional
for-
contract.
yeah. So if you read into the terms of this contract, Sumuk would have had to do that if RCB did not win the trophy, which means if any other
Not-
team won,
9 other teams.
the odds of 9 out of 10 is what Shruti had. The odds of this happening was 1 out of 10. Yes, indeed. Those are the terms of your trophy. I mean, of your contract.
Eid Mubarak, it
Eid
seems.
Mubarak, indeed. I'm so very happy. Shruti no longer wearing that dysentery yellow
Shut the
piss
fuck up,
jersey.
Leander.
Even if there is a 1% chance. Well, this time we had a 10% chance.
Happens to the best of us.
Indeed.
Yeah. It could have gone either way, but I'm glad it went my way.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
Sumuk and Sachit, for winning the bet.
All right. So let's
Thank
just.
you.
So Shruti has to say a very important
words.
set of words. So we're just going to point the camera towards her.
So if I lost the bet, I had to say that RCB is the best. So yeah, RCB is the best. Congratulations, guys. I'm not a Talasan, Abhishek. Shut the fuck up. Don't call me a Talasan, you Delhi Daredevils fan.
Abhishek's in the chat.
Yeah, why is he here? Time to accept that
Yeah.
DC is a better team than CSK. Oh my, so delusional, bro.
Shruti,
Please.
thank you so much for fulfilling your promise. Massive respect for you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Respect.
thank you.
Even though it took quite a bit of effort to make this
Yeah, a lot
happen
of
today.
effort. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah.
Why is this Abhishek talking about DC irrelevant team? Abhishek, please don't talk about your irrelevant franchise on this YouTube live. Please get out of here.
Okay, Shruti, is DC, Punjab, and LSG the new Holy Trinity?
Of course, DC was always a part of it, and
Yeah.
Lucknow is also irrelevant.
Yeah. Look, I think the second the final was decided to be an RCB versus PBKS final,
You just
Rishabh Pant automatically put his name and Sanjeev Goenka's name into the Holy Trinity's list. I think it's time. It's time for the inauguration of a fresh Holy Trinity, and I think we'll see that cook pretty hard the next IPL because
Delhi is always gonna be a part of the Holy Trinity. That I can just, I'm
Yeah.
just so sure about
yeah, look,
it.
speaking of the Holy Trinity, it's actually very poetic that we have two trophies, and both those trophies have come after beating members of the Holy Trinity. So the women beat Delhi, the men beat Punjab, and Bangalore got both the trophies. No, see, technically we aren't jail bros yet because we haven't gotten jailed. If that happens, then Shah Rukh Khan will join us as well because he also went to jail.
Oh god.
So now the jail bros are expanding.
Expanding, yeah.
All that's left to see is, I mean, Ambani won't really make it to jail. Maybe he'll send.
He'll send
he'll-
the umpires
yeah.
there.
He'll get house arrest. Has there ever been a case of an IPL umpire being arrested?
No.
No. Not
Ambani
yet.
won't let that happen, bro.
Exactly, yeah.
Imagine Nitin Menon getting arrested. MI is not gonna win after that.
They'll just buy another one,
There
bro.
is a
Right.
Yeah.
So where
No
do we
MI
start?
represents in the finals. Yeah.
We need to talk about an entire trophy winning campaign. Do we start from the beginning?
no.
Should
From
we
the
talk
end,
Start with the
about
finals.
with the finals? Yeah, I think we should start with the finals.
yeah.
So a little bit of context coming into this into just the playoffs phase of the IPL, right? Um, After the terrorism break that we got, thanks to Pakistan, there was a phase where we didn't know which players would come back. Now, RCB released a video saying 7 out of our 8 foreigners are available. Josh Hazelwood is the only one who is not.
Panic.
Now, now we are in a state where without Josh Hazelwood, we nearly lost to CSK. We got whacked by SRH, and we were coming in to face LSG on the exact same pitch without Lungi Ngidi, who had actually saved our asses against CSK, even though he had been whacked against SRH. Now, Lungi leaving to the WTC finals was actually a blessing in disguise. Blessing in disguise. Because that meant that he wouldn't have had to bowl on a pitch such as the one that was offered to us on Ekana Stadium, which means Nuwan Tushara coming in made that much more of a difference. So yeah, we saw what happened against LSG. I'd say if we had Tushara against SRH, we would have been able to curb the runs to maybe a 210 instead of a 230.
30.
But as Jitesh said, that loss was very much required.
True.
That was a wake up call for the entire team. And we saw a lot of difference in the next game.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
with that, we won only 2 games in the home, beating only Jailer Bros at home.
Only the jailer bros, exactly. I will say it once again. I made it to 5 games at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, the first 5. The next 2 games that I was not certain of making it to, I wasn't too sure if I could go for them or not. And those games only didn't happen at Chinnaswamy. That's the kind of aura we carry around these days.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, LSG.
Where were you during the finals? What were the emotions? How
Right.
was the
So
preparations
we
going
have
into the game?
Raksha in the comments, and I was sitting with her during the finals. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory as to how this happened for the finals, right? The LSG game and the Punjab Kings game, the qualifier one basically. Uh, I was sitting in her house on the same couch with the same people in the exact same position, wearing the same shirt, pant, socks, chaddi. For the Punjab Kings game, I also wore an additional jacket. Um, Now, given that scenario, given that we won both those games, I decided that it is not necessary to make any changes to that seating arrangement for the finals. Paid a visit to the temple just before the finals. Note that I haven't paid a visit to the temple for my own benefits over all these years. Jai Shri Allah, everything. Jesus. Fateh Fateh, Beam Ki Shakti, Dum Macha De, all that stuff. Yeah. Um, yeah, we made it happen. We cooked pretty hard. All the Vastus aligned themselves. Matthew Hayden said that we were 30 short, and Liam Livingstone laughed. Absolute cinema.
Well, yeah, I was writing my exam, panicking.
Yep.
Oh,
Going into the exam, I was trying to study in the during the day. My
Yeah.
legs were continuously shivering until I entered my exam. My exam started 30 minutes late. Then there was a screening going on in my apartment while I was
Brilliant.
in the last 1 hour of my exam. And there are
Yeah.
screams. Here I am. I don't know the toss, who is batting, who is bowling. I'm making up scenarios in my head. Oh shit, RCB
Yeah.
is 10 for 3, Kohli and Salter gone.
Oh, we were in quite a pickle. But no, I'm pretty sure that somewhere in your exam you would have accidentally written Josh Hazelwood has never lost a final. Has never won a final.
Uh, it won't go well if I have written Josh Hazelwood has never lost a final, because the
49
examiners
again.
from
Another
UK
49
and they
loading
hate
after.
Josh Hazelwood.
True.
I hope I
Ah,
have written I love salt.
we do love salt. You can't cook without salt.
Yeah, salt is essential in cooking.
Indeed. The difference between you and Shruti is that she accepted when CSK lost, unlike the
I
only.
didn't even know DC had fans, first of all. What do you mean you were unlucky? Skill issue. Don't blame your skill issue on luck. Or else the cup was ours. Oh my god, you're so delusional.
Mhm.
Delusional capitals.
But yeah, I
Only
think
coin
we
answer I love Upubai and Libya.
Upubai. Big salute Upubai. Uppiginta Ruchi Bere Illa. And everybody doubted me when RCB released that video during the auction when I said Uppiginta Ruchi Bere Illa. It went viral. It was all over the place. People were coming in with backlash saying, why not Butler or KL Rahul Ginta Ruchi Bere Illa? Well, DC had KL Rahul, GT had Butler. Both of them failed to make it to the qualifiers. And Uppu has now won two IPLs in a row.
Yeah,
So has Suresh Sharma, technically speaking, but Uppu with actual contributions.
yeah. Also with Liam Livingston, I was this close to getting bashed. Luckily, he pulled up that one extra cover six in the finals,
Yeah.
and the boundary line
The,
catch is enough for his valuable contributions
yeah.
and
Whatever 8.5
notable
crores
retention.
Paisa Vasool, he managed to bring all the averages on
For
the
that
day of
one
the
catch,
final.
1-6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're happy with
Also,
it.
Darshan Anand, we were not familiar with your game when you picked Liam Livingston during the auctions.
Yeah, God bless you for
God bless
picking.
you,
More
Darshan.
than that, thank you for picking Josh Hazelwood in the auctions.
Yeah.
I had my doubts. I was a very Nuwan Tushara supremacist kind of a guy when we did buy both Hazelwood and Tushara. I felt like we needed Tushara in Chinnaswamy and Hazelwood outside Chinnaswamy. Turns out that Hazelwood has actually learned how to bowl Yorkers this year, and that turned out to be, as Ian Bishop said, Hall of Fame bowling from
Yeah.
RCB.
Bro, this year has been the year for teams to
Oh,
break their
For
trophy.
first timers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually think I said we
but
have
What
a
then
if
chance.
it's
Josh
Hazelwood
Yeah,
would
so
have
Hazelwood,
I actually put up a tweet. I put up a tweet saying Hazelwood never lost a finals. SA winning in the year where all the other trophyless teams are winning.
won.
An unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Oh my.
but what if Aussies play Boland
That's
over
ahead of SA.
Hazelwood?
Then SA is winning, yes.
That would be absolute
Then
cinema.
South Africa is winning for
Yeah.
sure.
I'd like to see the record continue for Hazelwood. So,
Yeah,
if,
since he pulled up for RCB, full support
yeah,
to Hazelwood and his team.
yeah, his team. If he plays, support for the Aussies. If Aussies lose, boo hoo cry about it, Steve Smith in the gutter. That's all.
Do things.
Well, yeah, after the first innings, 190, do you think it was enough on the track?
It wasn't.
Nobody
It
thought it was
wasn't.
enough. And I promise you that on a regular day, 190 wouldn't have been enough. I
And I
think
think even if Hazelwood was not playing, I don't think 190 would have been enough.
true. Um,
Although Hazelwood
without,
was the most expensive bowler for RCB that day.
but we know
But
why he was expensive. Yeah. So
yeah,
okay, we'll get to that in a bit. I'd like to pull up a stat. Without Josh Hazelwood, RCB have conceded 200 plus every single time. So you look at the game against CSK, we
CSK.
gave away 200 that day. The game against SRH, we gave away 200. LSG, we
LSG.
gave 200 again. So I'd say without Hazelwood, we are easily 20 runs shorter of what we actually deserve to be. Um,
More
quick,
than the 20 runs with Hazelwood, The other bowlers around were bowling pretty brilliantly. Look
Sorry,
at
I wanted
Bhuvneshwar Kumar's economy when Hazelwood is there and without Hazelwood.
exactly. So it's
Even
about
Yash Dayal for that matter.
it's what Bobat said, right? It's about bowlers working in pairs. You can't have a bowler bowling for themselves. Suyash's exploits give Krunal his wickets. Krunal's exploits sometimes give Suyash his
Suyash's
wickets.
wickets.
Same thing with the fast bowling trio, and in this case, Romario Shepherd as well. I I'd say if you guys remember back during the pre-season previews that all of that Samuk and I had put out, I said that between Romario Shepherd and Tim David, there might be a bonks player there because of Romario. If Romario ends up bowling a lot, I think Rajat Patidar as a captain has managed to hand Romario Shepherd the right overs, no death bowling whatsoever. Sometimes the middle overs, maybe one over in the power play, the sixth over, if I remember correctly. So they've handled their 1, 2, 3 bowlers and their 4, 5, 6 bowlers in a very good manner. I think Rajat Patidar does deserve a lot of credit for that.
After the unbox, we wanted Romario to start ahead of David Law. I'm glad they started them both together. Yeah. Looking at
I
those
think we
sixes,
mentioned that as well. We mentioned that if they play both David and Romario, it's the best case scenario for us.
nothing like it. Yeah.
Yeah, Livingston ending up cucking the whole season actually made it that much more easy for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, speaking of the overseas players, right? This is something that I did want to address. The dedication that every single overseas player has shown towards the team. I think number one on that list is going to be Josh Hazelwood, who, like any other Australian bowler, could have rejected the idea of coming back to the IPL by giving the World Test Championship final as an excuse. He still went back, trained in Brisbane, made sure he was all right, came to India, had the physios looking at him day in and day out. The physios worked hard as well, sent the reports back to Cricket Australia, and he made sure he pulled up for both the qualifiers and the final.
Finals.
And that
Yeah.
made
He
us,
was game ready for the last game against LSG, but RCB
but
didn't
they
want to risk anything going into the
exactly.
playoffs.
Yeah, and it also has a lot to do with Cricket Australia being very firm and strict about who plays and who doesn't. Jake Fraser wasn't even starting the WTC. I don't think Jake Fraser is going to be in
He's
the
not
mix
a
of
part of the
things.
11.
He's not going to be in the mix of things for a good solid 1 year. I think the next you will see of Jake Fraser McGurk is in the BBL.
BBL.
After which, if a team bids for him in the auction, then you might see him play the IPL.
I think
But
LSG might bid for him.
yeah, but as of now, um, Sam Constance might have made his way a little bit higher on the pecking order. Right, but that was about Hazelwood. Next in line, Phil Salt.
Generational man.
Phil Salt disappears over the 4 days gap in between the qualifier and the final. People are going crazy. People are losing their shit because we don't know where he's gone. There's no news about him. People are saying that he's going to have a child, but we don't know if his wife is actually pregnant or not. We don't even, he wasn't even married. So people were saying, dude, it's all fake news. Turns out he went back for the birth of his child and landed in the airport for the finals on
At
the
3 a.m.
day of the finals. Yeah, 3 a.m. on the day of the finals. Not too much sleep. Still contributed with the bat. Whatever 16, 19 runs that he contributed was massive. But what matters
And
more
the catch.
is the
Catch.
catch he took for Priyansh Arya at the boundary because Prab Simran was, playing a pretty slow knock on the other
Tala
end.
innings.
Yeah, very,
Academy.
very scary from Romario to drop that catch in the first place. But Priyansh Arya was getting a lot of boundaries off edges. He was getting a tad too lucky. And Phil Salt taking that catch was actually pretty revolutionary in the
Historic
context of the
moment.
game. Yeah,
Whatever chartered flight they flew for Phil Salt from London is absolutely worth just for that single catch.
for sure.
And talking about commitments, Jacob Bethel, he knew he won't be playing. Uh, Also, Kush makes a
Touchdown.
Yeah, this is Jacob Bethel, by the way. We have Jacob Bethel on our live stream today. Jacob, say
everybody
hi.
say hello to Jacob.
Right now, go on, Jacob Bethel.
Yeah, after the resumption of IPL, uh, it it was pretty much sure that Jacob Bethel won't be getting a place in the
Another
starting
game.
11. Despite
Yeah,
that, he made just for 2 games. He was with the team and then flew back to England for the England versus West Indies series. That's insane commitment.
correct.
And I think David was in India
Tim David
itself.
as well. I think we knew that Tim David was not in a position to play a game after the SRH game. He's still stuck by the team, injury or not. Vibes Merchant came into the trophy celebration with that with Mysore Pete and all that stuff. So, fun lad, made sure that there is a good amount of vibe within the team, maintain the team atmosphere. So, mad props, Tim David, love you, baby girl.
And also props to Mo Bobart and Andy Flower for not selecting Liam Livingston for ODI and T20 series, and also not selecting Phil Salt for the ODI series.
True. That was a revolutionary move because I think without Salt we wouldn't have made it past the LSG game and the Punjab game as well. He did contribute. I think we would have done it even if Salt was out that day, but he made sure he stuck there till the end. So good to see.
Yeah,
Who
one thing is
else?
clear that this team has a very good environment and have kept every single player in check, which
Yeah,
made them come back and play for RCB.
correct. So whether they were on the bench or whether they're in the playing 11 did not matter as long as they were in the mix of things. They made sure they put 100% of their effort and stuck by the team through and through.
And if you look at the first game of the season and the final game of the season, you don't see much changes. There's one forced change due to Tim David's injury.
That's
Apart
it.
from
Yeah,
that, RCB has kept the same combination for every single game.
single game.
DDP
It's
as well.
mind-boggling as a RCB fan to see no chop and changes. See this
Yeah.
player for one game.
This is one of those years where RCB stuck by the same team throughout the season and CSK made changes from outside the squad. It's
Nice
a rarity.
selection process.
Yeah, it is a rarity. But yeah, who else? I feel like we're missing out on a name. Livingston is
Winston
done.
Shepherd.
Lungi, yeah, Lungi and Tushara. Yes, I actually want to talk about both Lungi and Tushara as well, because everyone knew that Josh Hazelwood is going to be starting, irrespective of what we thought. Right? We wanted, yeah. Shout out to Hassan. I will get to that. We knew that it's going to be Hazelwood throughout the season, even though we wanted certain other combinations to play inside and outside. But both Lungi and Gidi and Tushara making sure that they are available for selection, match ready at any given point of time. Lungi won us the game against CSK. I know he shacked the bricks against SRH.
SRH.
Tushara came in after that and won us the game against LSG, while all the other bowlers went at a massive economy rate. So at the end of the day, these two did their job in whatever limited chances they got, and massive respect. Sparsh is also here. My God, Sparsh is here. Sparsh,
Aussie,
bro,
Aussie blood.
look at this, bro. Yeah. Uh, right. So getting to Mike Hessen, we need to start at the 2020 phase when Mike Hessen thought about actually putting together a bowling lineup. Right. I know putting your trust in Navdeep Saini and Mohammad Siraj in hindsight is not the greatest of choices, but the first move that he made in that direction was to bring in Chris Morris. Now, Chris Morris in 2020 will be a very underrated player for RCB because he was genuinely good in the death overs for us. So it started from there. Then we had a dip with the Kyle Jamieson arc, but that was where Siraj pulled up as a bowler. And then
Then there was the dip of Siraj.
Visionary Hessen decided to let go of Chahal from the team, and we went with Hasaranga instead, who pulled up with a brilliant season for us in 2022. Harshal Patel pulled up in 2022. Josh Hazelwood pulled up in 2022. Siraj was kind of shit in 22, but like, I can't really say anything. So yeah, 2022 I would say was the best bowling lineup we had until that point across the years. At least in the 15 years that we'd seen the IPL pan out, 2022 has to be one of the best bowling attacks that we've had. 2023, however, we came back to Chinnaswamy and we shot bricks once again because
2023 was more of an injury season. Half the squad was
correct.
not there.
Rajat Patidar going missing was not helpful. Hazelwood left. Siraj was the only one carrying our lineup, and Hasaranga in Chinnaswamy has been pretty shit anyway. Uh, 2015,
Stark in
2015 was
2015.
carried by Stark and Chahal. Arvind was good, but everything else around them was not
I think
equally panned out.
2015 was a more solid season. We had the best chance. People might say
Hmm.
2016 was our best year, but I feel 2015 was our best chance.
2015 was our best chance if they hadn't fucked
If
the.
not for the daylight robberies from two teams.
Yeah, yeah, robberies happen. At the end of the day, we have a cup now. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we
Um,
found a way for the treasure.
Yeah. So I think Hessen moving that team culture along year by year and finally getting to 2022 where Faf was the skipper, right? Selecting Faf as skipper was the first step in creating a team environment where everyone had respect for everyone. I think that was something that we lacked in the Malya era because it was a few big names having all the fun and everyone else feeling like they're being sidelined quite a bit. But the Hessen arc made it feel a lot more inclusive. There were a lot more team bonding activities. Uh,
There looked like
someone
some
like
kind of planning was there in place actually.
correct,
Earlier, we used to look coming up with no plans,
yeah,
bowling
and
random bowlers in
there
depth.
was accountability, right? There was accountability taken by the both the players and the management, but the management specifically because if you look at all the auction videos that come up, they put out their auction strategies to the public to see after the auction is done, of course, um, to show us that this isn't a fluke. We had planned this. We are accountable for the team that we made. This team is here because we wanted this team, right? It's not because we bid for some Timal Mills and wasted 12.5 crores on that. We got Maxwell because we made Delhi make the bid for Steve Smith. We knew that CSK and Delhi are going to be our two biggest competitors for the Maxwell bid. Hessen had that panned out step by step, point by point. And yes, I
Visionary.
agree. Faf and Maxi have done an insane deal. Now, the 2024 season, I've said it over and over again, should never take away what Maxwell did for us from 21 to
20.
23.
Yeah.
So, yeah, mad respect, mad respect.
Yeah, not to forget that final knock against CSK in 2024.
True. It was look Maxwell's knock against CSK in 2024 is the equivalent of what Livingston gave us in the finals.
Yes.
One good catch versus the opening wicket of Ruturaj Gaikwad. A small cameo towards the end of the innings, very similar in stature.
Yeah. Not to forget, it was Faf who started the change in mindset and change in culture
Right.
in RCB after the 7 defeats last year.
Yeah.
And lot of credit should go to Faf for the change in mindset. RCB never looked like a team that would chase 200 totals. We knew once we got hit for 200, it was game over.
Yeah.
There was no belief. But that game against GT from Will Jacks, from there on, the approach from the entire batting unit looked entirely different when they are chasing 200s.
I,
It's
I
never
would
Even
like
Dinesh
actually,
Karthik.
yeah, no, DK
DK
is
deserves
an
all the
absolute
credit.
goat. Now, in 2023 and 2024, there have been multiple occasions where we've been hit for 200 plus totals. The difference, however, is that we showed true intent and character in trying to get close to those totals. For example, the CSK game in Chinnaswamy where we were chasing 226, where Faf and Maxi almost pulled it over the line. The SRH game where we got hit for 287 and DK made sure we lost only by 25 runs. Like in a game of 287, 25 runs, meaning we got to 262 that day, is fucking insane. Same thing with the KKR game. Karan Sharma pulling us close enough to win it, to lose it by 1 run, saved our net run rate that day. So we've seen a trend
It's all
over
the
and over.
culmination of the net run rates we saved throughout the season that got us
Yeah,
through the line in the final game last season.
exactly. So it was the DK show against
I think it
SRH. It
was
was
the DK show for sure.
Karan Sharma against KKR. Also, Siraj's 2 sixes against Bishnoi in the LSG game. There were a lot of factors in 2024 that pulled us through. Now, I've said this over and over again. An IPL season where an RCB fan feels desperate to bring out a calculator is never going to be an IPL season where we see a trophy. This time, however, unlike last season, we weren't dependent on net run rate. It was completely to do with the points, and the calculator came out only to calculate our chances for the top
Top
two
two.
because qualification was sorted thanks to Delhi Capitals. Thank you, Akshar Patel.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm the 12th man for DC.
Yes.
No wonder they are
Yeah,
losing,
no,
bro.
no wonder
No
you helped three
wonder.
teams qualify simultaneously.
You're just a secret agent for RCB, Abhishek. Point.
Yeah. No, the entirety of the Delhi Capitals camp is a secret RCB camp
Of
only
course it
because
is.
Faf, Stark, KL, Karun Nair.
Everybody is an RCB blood.
Then there is Kevin Peterson himself in the coaching staff.
Abhishek Porel, who is a RCB fan, he dropped the catch.
Yeah, he dropped the catch for us.
Agent.
Yeah. So yeah, that entire team is
We were never
pretty
going
close
We
to
were
my
never
heart.
going to win 2024 season, but it gave us the belief that we were changing for the better and becoming a team, and it became true this season. Yeah,
See,
that
the reason we
2024
were never going
season.
to win, the reason we were never going to win 2024 is because it was Bobat and Flower trying to push forward a team built by a completely different set of people. Now, it is not something that they're used to. They kind of believed in people like Alzari Joseph. That was their own fault. But coming in next year, where they could build a team from scratch, not putting their faith in a bunch of players like Will Jacks, who had done well for us. Cameron Green was injured, even though he was brilliant for us. Siraj, who has
Maxwell.
been a very improved player, they knew that Maxwell was a cuck, so they let him go. Brave decisions were made. Emotional decisions like spending 18 crores on
Retaining
Chahal.
Siraj. Yeah,
Yeah, you
overspending on
wouldn't
Chahal.
want to spend 18 crores on Chahal. You wouldn't want to go beyond a certain
KL.
fixed price. KL Rahul. So emotional decisions were not in the mix of things, and they made sure that they looked through stats, they looked through potential, and they looked at the balance of the team more than anything.
Why not tell Virat Kohli is also your talent from
Yeah.
Delhi?
Bro, if you look at it like that, look at the number of players that were technically our talent. Travis Head was our talent. Henrik Klassen was our talent. Steve Smith was our talent.
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is our talent now.
Ashwin Kumar is our talent. Came back to our talent as once again.
Virat was
There's
supposed
that
to
Peter Drury
be
commentary. No, Manchester something something and Manchester again wreathed in red. That applies to Bhuvneshwar Kumar only.
We would be the biggest team in the IPL right now. We
Would be.
missed Kohli. Would be.
Would be.
Emphasis on
You
would be.
Delhi had first pick for Virat Kohli, and they picked
Clowns. Absolute
they
clowns.
picked Pradeep Sangwan.
Clowns.
They picked Pradeep Sangwan ahead of him.
It's always a left arm
Sound
seamer.
Abhishek.
Yeah, and we got lucky after that. We got second pick. Charu Sharma's podcast here is actually pretty, revealing of how that experience went because everyone thought, oh my God, Delhi have first pick. Delhi's going to pick a Delhi boy, and they picked left arm pacer Pradeep Sangwan. But yeah, I think we've discussed quite a bit of detail about how the
United,
final.
Rabada, Miller, Stark, all this IPL trophies equally hers.
True, man. We were once again. She did all of that, but the most important bid that she denied to us, two of the most important bids, were
Stark.
Rishabh Pant and Venkatesh Iyer.
Oh yeah.
She made sure that we didn't get Venkatesh Iyer at the 14 crore mark, which meant that other teams came in. KKR also came in later, and they pushed it to a 24 crore mark, which made RCB back out of it. Now, if Venkatesh Iyer had come in for 24 crore, sorry, for
At
even
14
half that
mark.
price, 14, yeah, for 14
14.
crore, if Venkatesh Iyer had come in for 14 crore, we would have lost out on
On
Josh
Jitesh.
Hazelwood for the same price. Bhuvneshwar Kumar was a day two pick. So we would have lost out on these guys. We wouldn't have had a bowling attack. We'd have Venkatesh Iyer batting at 3 instead of intent merchant Devdutt Padikkal. We stole Devdutt for 2 crores. And he had a good redemption season. Same thing with Mayank as well. Came in as a replacement. Good enough. I'd take anything that he gave us.
But even after the
RCB.
final, in the press conference, Andy Flower mentioned that they rated Venkaya very highly and they would have been happy to have him in the team.
Absolutely. But not at a price of 24 crore because
Yeah.
somewhere it feels like they would have lost out on
The
Hazelwood and
dead
Rohit.
bowling.
They would have
The
lost
dead
out on
bowling.
bowling for sure. We would have a bowling attack of players like we would have had Prasid Krishna. We would have
No,
had
it would have been Salt Kohli
yeah,
opening, Venki and Patidar in the 3 and 4. That
at
would
three
have
and four,
still
which
been
is
dangerous.
still okay. Yeah, I agree because
But it's the amount,
We know
right?
what
Venki,
Venki can do at number 3.
it would have been the same case as 2024 where you have a gun top six and nothing with the ball
Yeah.
No
because
dead
your
bowling.
bowling would have also been dependent on the same Suyash Sharma, Krunal Pandya. We might have been dependent on Swapnil Singh actually if we didn't get Krunal for that
Yeah.
price. If we went harder for Hazelwood and lost out on Krunal, then we would have had Swapnil Singh playing in the playing 11, which would have meant the whole Baroda redemption arc never happened in the first place. This time we got to see Swapnil feeding Krunal cake. Very wholesome, very
Yeah.
beautiful.
What RCB does to arch rivals, enemies.
Yeah. So speaking of Krunal Pandya, um, I must say that this absolute clutch guard is someone that I really hated for 3 years when he played at LSG.
Yeah.
His whole phase in LSG was very annoying to me.
Smashable, punchable.
He felt like a very punchable character overall. He felt like someone that,
Wouldn't perform.
yeah,
Wouldn't perform on
as Sanjay
clutch.
Manjrekar had once termed for Ravindra Jadeja, a bits and pieces player who's not going to give you either this or that. This time in RCB, role clarity is something that they put together very, very, very stringently. And they told Krunal Pandya that he is not a sixth or a seventh bowler. He is going to be a 4 overs bowler on most days. And that clarity, where Krunal also ended up bowling many more overs than Suyash Sharma, where Suyash Sharma was in a situation where he couldn't bowl his full quota on a lot of days. I like the clarity that they gave him. But at the same time, DK working on his batting, DK putting together a decent amount of skill for him to win just one game with the bat, I will take it. I will. That is more than enough for me. If Trunal Pandya wins me one game with the bat in a season, it is a tournament-winning
It's a
season,
win.
and we saw that in 2017 with MI.
I saw a tweet that said Ashwin might retire and join RCB. I
Dying
was
to see Vignesh. Yeah, brother, even I want him. I miss
Yeah, I
Vignesh.
want him.
Please
He's
come,
been
Viggy.
yeah. Roshan said DK Popa greater, 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 and I agree with
agreed.
that because
Agreed.
I don't think any of these players would have performed to this potential if not for
On
DK's
DK.
contribution.
What is KP Karupu? He's black.
Black.
Black salt.
Karia.
No, I mean it's not just KP. It was also Tim David. It was Jitesh Sharma. It was Romario Shepherd. The entire lower order, the lower middle order of RCB, pulling up to fill in DK's shoes. Right, that was instrumental for the win, especially Jitesh. good rapport with DK, and his city started
Oh,
trolling
Vicky's
him.
here.
Ashwin as a RCB coach,
Summoned,
I don't see
bro,
it.
bro. Vicky being summoned.
I don't see Ashwin as a RCB coach. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
see it
I'm
happening.
not. I'm not too keen on having Ashwin
I don't think
as a
it's
spin
gonna
bowling
happen.
coach. I actually
Malolan
feel like
Rangarajan.
Malalan has done a good job as a spin bowling
Yeah.
coach. I was just skeptical about his scouting issues. Even with the women's team as assistant coach, I'm happy with what he's done with them so far. He's done a decent job. My only issue with Malalan was his overall scouting for RCB. Even if you look at it this year, it's not like he scouted a new player for us. There's been nothing extra. Um, I
Abhishek says that Delhi is gonna win 3 consecutive IPL trophies. I think you missed that comment.
I will respond to that by
Yeah.
saying
Let's,
these 3 years are for RCB. After that, if Delhi accidentally
That's
steal
not gonna
Hazelwood from us
happen.
in an auction, then yeah.
He also said JFM is gonna score 175. So like, yeah, it's Abhishek. We can't consider whatever he's.
Yeah,
Yeah, correct, exactly. Someone said 14 out of 14.
yeah, 14 out of 14.
Delusional capitals. That's all. That's all,
Viggy,
Abhishek.
Viggy
End of
just
the argument.
Viggy just showed up in chat to comment by
He's
Abhishek.
stating facts. What
Vicky
happened?
is silencing Abhishek like how Pat Cummins silenced.
Qualify first. Rohit retirement. I think JFM's retirement is gonna happen before Rohit's retirement. Abhishek, what do you think about that? Generational trash.
Okay, speaking about
JFM
the
is
rest of the team, Shreyas Iyer is something that I've been wanting to discuss. It's a very curious case, right? All of us believed that Shreyas Iyer was weak against the short ball. Suddenly, Shreyas Iyer started playing well against the short ball. This year in the IPL, we see that his dismissals versus Josh Hazelwood had been very identical to each other at both the Mulanpur games. And then Romario Shepherd shows up to bowl against Shreyas Iyer. After after watching Josh Hazelwood do so well against Iyer, I was very skeptical about seeing Romario bowling to him, and I thought it was gone case for us. And somehow this guy produces exact same dismissal. And then I opened Twitter to find out that across formats, Romario Shepherd has bowled 4 balls to Shreyas Iyer, out of which 3 of them have been dismissals, and 0 runs have been scored off of him. So for some reason, this is a matchup that ended up working.
Yeah, that's a
And I like how
positive
this
match.
fundamental put
Uh,
together.
Either ways, Shreyas Iyer could have targeted Romario, who was
For sure.
a not regular bowler, but I
But
think Freddie Wild from RCB would have given that stack to Rajat, and he would have just gone with Romario over there. And that dismissal was very identical to Shreyas' dismissal from the World Cup.
exactly.
Just
even
making it
in the IPL. I think even this year,
So
the
his World
number
Cup
of
dismissal,
and
his dismissal at Mulanpur, both the first time and the second time, all 3 of them were done by Hazelwood. Same kind of cut shot attempted, same edge to the wicket keeper. And the dismissal was reproduced by Romario
Shepherd, yeah.
in the final. So yeah, good to see. And it was a very brave field. I don't know if you noticed the field set that they had for Shreyas Iyer. There was no long on and long off. It was 4 fielders, square of the boundary, a kind of field that you would set for maybe a Mayank Yadav or a Lockie Ferguson type of a bowler. But Romario, who bowls much slower into the deck and often ends up pitching it up for the batter to hit. The kind of
luckily
faith
he
shown
pitched
by
it a
Rajat,
bit back.
a little bit back. He got away with one of those deliveries, but it was great to see that Rajat had the faith in him to set a field like that. Good to see.
I also think if
Crazy.
Iyer had scored like some 20, 30 more runs, then the game was
For sure.
Punjab's game for
Yeah,
sure.
because
Was
if
going
Iyer
to
had
be very close.
chasing
Till the
192,
15th over, it looked like it was going to be Punjab that's gonna win.
yeah,
They were like,
I
what,
think
some 15?
Iyer's dismissal was the fourth wicket, right? 98 for 4
Iyer's
was the
Yeah.
Iyer.
yeah, it was
That was
Iyer's
game
dismissal
set
happened
over.
in
After
over
that, it
12.
was done.
Yeah,
12:30,
the
13th or
13th,
12th.
13th or something over.
So
Yeah, that's when
after that, the
Romario bowled.
game was over.
Yeah.
It was just
No, after
defensive
that, I
bowling.
was still a little scared of
Stoinis.
the possibility of Stoinis coming in. And Vadera has had a good average chasing and has also performed against RCB a couple of times in the past. Not just at the Chinnaswamy, but last year in the MI versus RCB game as well. It was Vadera that took them over the line. So I was a little skeptical. I didn't know if our death bowling would
If
come
Hazelwood is
back to
there,
haunt
then
us.
why not?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, Dayal and Bhuvi bowled exceptionally well, and it was actually Hazelwood's figures. If someone 3 years down the line, if they go back and look at the scorecard of this final, it will never tell them the whole story
Story, of course.
because out of those 50 runs, a good 20,
4.
24 of those runs were scored off the
The
last
last over.
four balls. 22 runs, sorry, three
22
sixes and a,
runs. 114. Yeah.
yeah. But nobody will talk about how the game was closed out before those boundaries were hit, which is why Hazelwood's expensive figures will never be given the right credit because he'd taken the game away from them. He'd killed the game before that.
What were your thoughts of our bowling lineup going into the season? Like, did they match your expectations or perform way
Bowling
beyond
lineup,
your expectations?
bowling lineup lived up to the expectations. I was pretty sure that Suyash Sharma would be the one weak link in the lineup, and that was true. He does have a lot to improve on, but I like that he's been brave with his lines. He doesn't hesitate to toss the ball up every now and then. And even though overall across the season he's been carted around by a lot of batters, somewhere whenever it mattered, it was Suyash Sharma who saved the game for us. And two of the most major examples for that would be the game against CSK at Chinnaswamy, where he bowled a brilliant over at the death for Dayal to come and close it out after that, and
And
the
the
qualifier
Rajasthan
at
game.
Molanpur.
Punjab.
The qualifier at
Yeah,
Molanpur as well.
Mulanpur was his ground. I don't know
Yeah,
that somehow he found the turn.
yeah,
He was turning it like Shane Warne over there.
yeah. So I'd say if Yuzi was available for them, it would have been a bit more of a decent contest. And that is if the batters had put together a good 140 total. Because Yuzi was the guy that took away the game from KKR on that exact same pitch. So Yuzi not being
And
available
the
for
same
Punjab,
score, right?
a very
109.
similar score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Similar score.
yeah,
But yeah, before the season, I was watching the podcast of Jared Kimber and Robin Uthappa. When Robbie being Robbie, when he was implying to Jared that RCB have a very good bowling lineup,
yeah.
Jared denied it. He said they have a very good defensive bowling unit and not a bowling unit capable of picking wickets.
That's all you need in a T20 format.
Yeah. And time again, it's proved right that defensive bowling lineup can win you matches and fancy your chances for picking those wickets.
Yeah. See, I'd say that we were a true wicket-taking bowling attack in the power play with the new ball when the ball is swinging, right?
Yeah, we had three power
Bhuvneshwar
play
Kumar is
bowlers.
Yeah, we had three power play bowlers. We saw the kind of delivery that Yash Dayal bowled to Rohit Sharma. We've seen what Bhuvi can do over the years, and Hazelwood has also been an absolute goat in the power play for us. When it comes to the middle overs, how much can you squeeze the opponents? That was a question that was pending for us, and we didn't know if we could pull it off at a venue like Chepauk, for example. But going to Chepauk and winning with a spin choke more than anything else is what gave me a lot of confidence. The spin choke was ideal, and it was an absolute reverse of what we'd seen last year at Chepauk because the opposite had happened to us. So yeah,
They just finished like Mission Impossible.
I love how Roshan just pops up with proper bangers every single time.
Well, yeah, considering all the games in the
Mhm.
IPL, not just RCB, which one was your most favorite game to watch?
Okay, because I was there live, I want to go with the CSK game, Hukum 3.0,
Non RCB game.
non RCB game. Ooh. Mm,
I think the Delhi versus
The
Over.
super
Super
over
Over
game,
Yeah,
yeah.
game was fun.
Delhi.
Super over
Yeah,
game for sure.
Delhi
Super Over
versus
game,
RR. I
that
was
was fun
thinking of
too.
the same thing because it was
The
a game that was pretty nicely pulled back. I enjoyed that, and I also enjoyed Delhi versus MI
MI.
because that's where the season itself flipped upside down.
But I think the
Oh
super over
yeah, the
game was
one in Delhi.
Yeah, the this one, the game where Karun Nair pulled up.
Yeah, and it's been a season with most number of dropped catches
Oh yeah,
and not too
right.
many catches
highest
of the
being
season.
CSK, right? This time.
CSK's
CSK and
catching
RR.
efficiency has been the worst
Oh,
this year. Yeah,
oh God.
Suresh Raina
Yeah,
will be
even this game
fuming.
was good. KKR was versus PBKS.
Yes,
True,
yes,
that was
agreed.
also pretty nice. Yeah, yeah, it's
Who
hard
bought
to
this
pick
first? Yeah.
one game. Yeah, it's hard to pick one game, but just because of the adrenaline, I liked the RCB versus CSK game at the Chinnaswamy.
One
Aside
bad
from that,
season, Leander. Don't fly too much.
there's the,
We'll
there's your
come back
this is
stronger
your
next
this is
year.
your third bad season, by the way.
We'll come back stronger next year. You had a good season. We'll also have a good season. One good season versus one bad season.
Mm.
I have faith in CSK. It's a bet, guys. It's because of a bet. It's because of a bet. First and last time.
Second.
Wanna bet again?
Sure, sure. We'll bet on this live itself.
Okay, for those of you wondering why my head isn't fully bald yet, it was because I had to take some drastic measures to come here and make this happen. Hopefully, once I go back home, I don't know if I'll have time, but I want to go bald and go to office tomorrow because there's a lot of expectations coming in from my colleagues for me to show up to office without any hair on my head. Yeah, I mean, Dayal owning Dhoni is something that we will see time and time again as long as the man continues to play. Bro, I think CSK fans will automatically give up on their team if they see Dhoni playing next season as well.
I will give up. I'll give up. It's high time. He has to
Look,
retire. I
I'll
love
tell you what.
CSK, but
I'll tell
Dhoni,
you what.
please.
If Dhoni continues next season, just stick with this jersey itself.
He will
Yeah.
retire. Has to
Red and gold
retire.
suits you good, Shruti.
No, no, no.
Trust.
You have an
Yellow.
opportunity here.
See, I just know that Dhoni will retire. Dhoni is gonna retire for sure.
Very
Look, he
hopeful
says
of you.
his post-season comment did not really
That
inspire a lot of
definitely doesn't give any confidence that he's going to retire.
He should have retired in 2023 itself.
2021,
2023,
I said one.
2021, okay, fine. But 2023, when we won the finals,
But yeah,
it was
Yeah,
the perfect
2023
time
was a
to
bigger
retire.
final.
yeah, Mohit Sharma with
Yeah.
the agent.
Much better occasion to retire.
Yeah.
Roshan, I did not turn to RCB. It was a bet, which is why I am wearing this jersey. I am always be a CSK fan. Please do not associate me with RCB or call me a RCB fan. I'm always a CSK fan. It's a bet that I lost against Sajid and Subuk.
It's a give a nice pose, no? That comment and this frame is nice to take a screenshot. Yeah. Wait,
It'll not
let me start the
actually.
fireworks.
Okay, no.
No, okay. We'll screenshot that later. Okay, so let me paint a picture for some CSK fans out there. 2024, last at Chinnaswamy. 2025, last at Chinnaswamy. It's being termed as a farewell, a funeral, call it whatever you want. 2026, we are coming in with the final happening at Chinnaswamy. If Tala plays,
He isn't gonna play. He's not gonna play.
if Tala
If
plays, what would CSK fans want? An actual farewell for Tala at Chennai or a funeral for Tala at the Chinnaswamy?
Of course. See, first of
well,
all, I don't think
let,
he's gonna play in
let me
2020.
add on to this point. I have a very beautiful start. Tala
Yeah.
might have said that he wants to retire at Chennai. He wants to end his career in Chennai. But
Yeah.
his last T20 international game was played in Chinnaswamy. And time again, wherever he travels, wherever he goes, it has to end in Chinnaswamy.
Yeah.
We know Dhoni loves to play in Chinnaswamy. It's his
Yeah.
most
He's
favorite
loved
ground.
that.
Even though he denies it, he loves this ground. And I think fate belongs here.
It works in mysterious ways.
CSK winning in 2026 then.
Yeah, I mean, look, it would be pretty poetic if CSK wins in
And
2026
Tala retires.
at
That
the
is if he
Chinnaswamy,
continues.
at the Chinnaswamy, that too. But
But I don't think he's gonna play.
let me paint a picture as to why they actually have a good chance in 2026, right? Now, Ruturaj Gaikwad coming back should ideally take up the opening slot
With Ayush Matre.
with Ayush Matre, followed by Urvil Patel
Patel.
at 3. Someone like Shivam. I would still play
See,
Shivam
Shivam
Dubey at
Dubey
4.
at 3.
Shivam Dubey at 4.
Four.
Don't
Lock.
No, none of this Jadeja at 4 bullshit.
See, I don't know why they're bringing in Jadeja and Ashwin before Dubey,
Jadeja-
knowing that he cannot play after
Jadeja
3
and
and
Sam
4.
Curran at 4 and 5 is absolutely diabolical.
Wait. We have a
Oh my
comment. DC will win 16 in 16 next year. 14 league games in a row, qualifier 1, finals. Okay. I had a bet with Shruti. Abhishek, do you want to bet?
Trust me, Abhishek. Trust me, bro. He's that kind of a person.
If you
Abhishek, I'm gonna bet on this.
let
I'm
me
gonna
let me
bet on
put
this.
forward the terms of the bet.
I'm so down for this
If-
bet, Abhishek.
If DC win the trophy next year, then we will show up in Delhi Capitals jerseys on the live stream.
With the JFM board saying JFM is the best.
Bro, JFM will be released next
Yeah,
year.
no,
won't
he
even be
wants
released.
it right. He says JFM is generational wealth. Abhishek will do that. For you, we are gonna do it.
But if DC don't win next year,
What are you going to do?
Get a clown tattoo here.
if any other team wins next year,
Tell him to get a clown tattoo.
no tattoo and all no need. Just show up on the live stream. We will finally let you onto the live stream and properly, loud and clear.
I will be there. I will be there,
Proclaim
guys.
that JFM is a shit player and Delhi Capitals is not worth supporting.
And it's Delhi Daredevils,
It's
not
Delhi
Delhi
Daredevils.
Capitals. Abhishek, I am so down for this. Oh, I'm ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, he's leaving now. He's given up.
So, if you
faith
say
on his
yes, if you say yes, then we shake on it and we shall agree to the
We
bet.
shall have a contract.
So
What if I don't win?
if Delhi doesn't win, then you're coming and you're saying
JFM is the worst.
JFM is the worst player ever, and
Delhi Capitals is Delhi
not
Daredevils.
is Delhi Daredevils, and it's not worth supporting.
Yes. And I'm the only Delhi fan to exist. Please say that as well.
Say that you're the only Delhi fan to exist,
And say that Delhi is an
doesn't have
irrelevant
fans.
franchise. Please mention that as well.
Yeah.
I guess we will never know. Why do you not have enough trust on Delhi, Abhishek? Do you not trust your team to win a
18
trophy?
years of trust issues.
Yeah. He's given up now. He doesn't. At least I had the balls to keep a bet.
Yeah.
And so did Sumukh.
And live up to the
Yes.
repercussions of the bet, even though it took quite a bit of effort from my side. I feel
I
like
was
a lot
ready
of
for it.
you
And a
this
lot
jersey,
of fighting.
your jersey now. At least very bless you.
Oh, he's back to square one. Abhishek, why do you not?
No,
Oh,
hold on. Okay, last place doesn't matter. Are you ready to take this bet on?
I have standards.
Say yes or no. We will put up the yes on our stream and we will read out the terms of the bet once again.
We'll send you a document to Dubai or wherever you live, like a written contract if you're down for this. I have standards, it seems. If you have standards, then why don't you sign up? Why don't you agree to this bet, Abhishek?
Just say the word. Say the word and we will.
Just say the 3-letter word.
Yeah. Roshan wants in.
There are a lot of people who want to bet
Internet
on
is
us.
My internet is lagging. So is your
My
team.
internet is like, why bro,
I'm gonna-
Dubai internet is slow, huh?
Abhishek, please don't show up again. This is just embarrassing at this point. Please just stop showing up.
No, please continue showing up.
Delhi
we
clowns.
do enjoy. We
Delusional
do enjoy.
clowns. DC is now delusional clowns. The new name for DC.
I'll be back.
I'll be
soon.
back soon.
Mm.
That's what DC says every year.
Wow, this was supposed to be the roast of Shruti Rajesh, and this ended up being a Delhi Capitals roast session. Yeah, you know what? Worth it. What else do we have to discuss? Okay, let's get back to the topic here. everything else that happened in the finals, I would say one of the most iconic moments in any IPL final that I've ever seen
Jitesh
is
Sharma's
Jitesh
shot.
Sharma's scope shot
Yes.
with AB de Villiers holding the mic.
Absolute
Absolute fucking
cinema.
cinema.
Spellbound that shot. I don't know what to name. Pida was suggesting that it's no longer Dil Scoop, it is J Scoop.
J Scoop, you know,
Yeah.
he might just be
Well,
the
there
best
is
player.
also another shot that we need to talk about. It was the 17.5 shot from Jitesh Sharma against
In the
LSG
LSG
in
game.
the
Yeah,
transfer.
that was fucking beautiful to
Flat
watch.
batted shot going straight down the ground. I thought it was gone. Some long
Yeah,
on or long off would take the catch, but it went way past the boundary line.
yeah.
Crazy shot.
Yeah, the
Shots
amount
that
of
can't
timing
be
and
different
power he's
opposite.
putting in, the actual amount of work that DK has done with this player is very refreshing to see. It's almost as if DK has created another
Another
version of
DK.
himself. Yeah. And Jitesh agrees to that. He's very clear about how DK has been his guru, guide, mentor, everything. Um, yeah, no, look, Jitesh the wicketkeeper was something that I was always up for.
Yeah.
At the end of the
But
season,
Salt, the fielder, was crazy.
absolutely brilliant. Yes. Jitesh, as a wicketkeeper, has actually been pretty fucking insane for Vidarbha as well. And his overall understanding of how Indian pitches work and whether it's a good idea to go for a DRS or not is something that Jitesh would have much more clarity on. And I would say, ratings wise, there was a tweet that I'd put out. Jitesh, as a batter, maybe 8 out of 10. But Jitesh, as a wicketkeeper, a proper solid 10 out of 10. I think I
Crazy
saw him
because
make
yeah,
one blunder across the season. Maybe there was like one blunder from Jitesh with his wicket keeping overall. Aside
that
from
was in
that,
home game only, I guess. Yeah, yeah. But things like that happen. Uh,
Look at Abhishek's comment.
I loved how RCB coach
His
Mo
mentality,
Bobart,
Abhishek.
who said
What is
we will
wrong with
win next year
Abhishek?
as well because very few teams have won two in a, that's DC mentality.
What do you mean
What he
DC
has been
mentality, bro?
no,
Please get some
he
help.
means it's DC's mentality to do the same thing 2 years in a row for
Losing the
8 years. For
WPL
8 years,
and the WPL finals. Yeah, you're right. Three consecutive finals that you've lost in WPL, Abhishek. Yes.
you guys don't discriminate between men and women, and that is very nice to see. It's very heartening. This is
yeah,
pretty rare, given that it's Delhi,
yeah.
where discrimination between men and women has been a very large constant over the past few years, over decades and decades together. So it's nice to see that they've taken this initiative on the cricket field, if not in reality.
Just to lose.
Not winning, but they have the mentality to go to the finals every year in a
Every
women's
year.
team.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the mentality. What else do you think we are talking about, Abhishek?
Yeah.
Are you,
We're talking about
we are
mentality
not
only, yeah.
talking about your mental issues here.
Mm. So yeah, we've discussed Jitesh, we spoke about Salt, we spoke about all the important players so far. So I think that just leaves us with
It's time to
okay,
talk about our coaching staff and support staff.
yeah, coaching staff, support staff. We have to talk about
Hot
the
start.
captain also. That's why
Yeah,
the captain.
captain is
I
a
think
cherry on the cake.
yeah,
Uh, Andy Flower and Mo Bobart.
yeah,
Uh, I had extreme hopes from these two people when they came for RCB, but
yeah.
when they released 7 8 players last season, I was shocked. I had a lot of questions. Who is going to bowl? Like, do you need the services of me, such a to bowl here? Because the team squad lacked a player's quality named bowler.
Yeah.
But what a turnaround from that KKR game. 6 back-to-back wins, then 9 continuous away game wins. That's some crazy stuff from Andy and Mo. Well,
Yeah.
Andy is known for his man management skills in the
Yeah.
cricketing fraternity, maybe his coaching for the England Cricket Board or his coaching in the other leagues that he has taken part. He has been extremely successful and respected for his man management
True.
capabilities. One thing I think lacked during Hessen's era was they weren't managing Kohli well. Like
Yeah.
Hessen used to tell that Kohli knows his things, he will do his job.
Yeah.
But with Mo and Andy, they were clear set of defining roles, instructions, even for Kohli, that changed his T20 game. Not to
Yeah.
forget, he's a retired T20 player, and to come up with a 600 plus season after his retirement, that's some incredible stuff. And three back-to-back seasons going past 600 when
Yeah.
he's age
So
36.
there is something that someone mentioned on one of the Crickbuzz interviews as well. On either side of his prime, Kohli has put together three consecutive 500 plus seasons in a row. So on this side of the 2016 and that side of 2022,
Some crazy stuff.
that's fucking insane if you ask me.
Andy Flower for India coach after Gautam Gambhir gets sacked.
Hey, don't send him there because if he
He
becomes India coach,
belongs at RCB.
yeah,
He belongs
it's
at
like
RCB.
keep him as long as CSK have kept Stephen
Oh,
Fleming.
Fleming, so
oh.
we will keep Andy Flower forever.
He might actually get sacked though.
He should get sacked. He's living in 2019. They can hire me instead. CSK, if you're watching this, please hire me. I'm not in 2019
Yeah.
like Fleming.
No, but it was actually very surprising to see that the same Mike Hessen said that they had finished ninth on the table. He was probably looking at the table upside down, but yeah.
Upside down, yeah.
Yeah.
And Malolan Rangarajan as a coaching staff this season. No hate for you, brother. You won our
Yeah.
respect.
Nice to see that Malo has finally done all the good stuff. Yeah, Mike Hessen
He has
reverse
found his
jinxing.
niche finally. It's not fielding coach, spin bowling and fielding coach and talent scout. Finally, he has found his niche. He's a spin bowling
That's
coach. This
good
is where you
coach.
belong, Malo.
Mm.
And Omkar Salvi, who goes very under the radar and not media catchy. Very great
Yeah.
stuff from
He
him.
won he won Ranji and Irani Cup with Mumbai, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, he won both the domestic trophies with Mumbai, and
Yeah.
he's someone who was in the coaching fraternity of Chandrakant Pandit. That's
Chandrakant
where
Pandit,
our
yes.
captain
That's
Rajat Patidar was groomed.
he was also the coach when DK was in KKR in 2019.
Yeah,
So
he
that's
has
where
vast
that's
knowledge of
Omkar
the
Sir and
Indian
Abhishek Nair had
pitches
worked with.
and the bowling conditions and the right bowlers to bowl where.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. And it's also nice to see they were hardly one beamer bowled this season by RCB.
Yeah, the one that went for the one in the CSK game by Dayal. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
much it.
good to see. There were very less no balls. There were very less extra runs given in the first
I
place.
don't remember any other front foot no ball by an RCB bowler. Was there a front foot no ball from us? No, right?
Maybe there was maybe one instance, I don't recall, but in general, there were no extras given by the bowlers. They
Yeah.
Wasn't
had
it
the
against
minimum number
Punjab?
of wides,
Was there any no
and
ball against Punjab this
Punjab
time?
bowled a no ball against us. I don't remember if we bowled a no ball against them.
I remember there was a no ball. I
there
think
was
it
a
was
no ball when
Punjab.
Jitesh got out against the LSG game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fine. No, there might
I
have
thought there
been.
was one
We
against
we might
Punjab.
have bowled one against Punjab. Yeah,
Yeah,
possibly,
right. Punjab
possibly.
only.
Even I'm not sure, but I think that's pretty much it. I don't remember any other no balls from us.
Yeah, Punjab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bhuvi
So
as a bowler has very less no balls in his career, maybe one or two maximum. I
yeah,
remember seeing a stat up until 2021 or 22, he had zero no balls in his
it's
entire
impressive.
cricketing career.
Yeah,
Same goes with Ashwin, but sadly they both bowled a no ball during 2022 or 2023.
yeah. I think it was a very similar statistic for Piyush Chawla, who had never bowled a no ball until a certain point in 2019 or 20. That's when the start was broken for him.
Again, you found your network back, you want to sign the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abhishek, are you ready for the bet?
We
Just
we
say
can
yes,
add
brother.
this as a conditional contract also.
Yeah, yeah. Just say yes. Say
Just
the
say yes,
words.
Abhishek.
That's all you need to do.
Maybe his network went again.
His
Yeah.
network would have gone
Network
again.
gone
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
Continue.
also towards the back end of the tournament, SRH looked like a squad how they
Back to
should
back.
be playing
2024
according
squad.
to the expectations. Yeah. So going forward, there is
What do
high
SRH
chance.
lack? they lack a good spinner and one extra fast bowler. That's
I
pretty
think
much
they
it.
found a good spinner this season with
Zishan
Zishan
is good.
Ansari,
Zishan Ansari is good, but they've not
and they
stuck with it. Harsh
which
Dubey and
team
Zishan
had
Ansari have been getting swapped out a little too much. They should find a way to play both of them.
yeah
But
they
even
even their
starting, I
bowling
think
lineup was coming together
Rajat
as a
never
unit this
stopped
season.
playing. Yeah.
They
Even the
are much more flat pitch bullies than anything else.
But like if no
yeah they
one
can
doesn't
get rid
perform,
of
everybody stops performing.
Yeah.
they can get rid of Mohammad Shami and tighten that bowling lineup. Even their bowling
Or
lineup was coming like an entire unit this season.
yeah. So speaking of bowling lineups, I'd say Rajat Patidar handling this bowling lineup has been very key for us to pull off a season, a campaign like this. Because we've noticed this over every single game that Rajat has been captain in. Um, the KKR game, there was a lot of scrutiny that was received from Suyash Sharma for him coming into bowl to Andre Russell. That was the first instance that I remember from the top of my head of Rajat Patidar putting faith in his bowlers in the first place. So that delivery to Andre Russell inspired a great deal of confidence in me. Then moved into Chepauk, had a brilliant spin bowling display where he made use of Livingston. He made use of Suyash and Krunal as well. He made Livingston look like peak War and
Shane
Swan at the same time. That too bowling to Tada. He knows when to bring in Yash Dayal. Then we saw the MI game where Bhuvneshwar Kumar was getting belted a little bit, but somehow landed his Yorkers in the death overs. Uh, and I think one of my favorite captaincy moments from Rajat Patidar across the season has to be that straight third man to one into Hasaranga
Rajasthan game.
in the Rajasthan game at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Because Josh Hazelwood being on a hat trick was in a situation where you could have put fielders to maybe long on, long off and had a slip just to make sure the hat trick happens. Not prioritizing the hat trick and prioritizing not letting the boundary go to the third man region because Hasaranga is known to push forward a lot of edges. Hey, Vishal is here. Vishal is here. Vishal, look at it, bro. Look at it. It looks beautiful. It suits her
Like
so much.
Yeah, please
CSK.
tell her that red and gold suits her.
CSK forever. Okay, also Rajat as a captain, I think he's really great. But as a batsman, I have mixed opinions
I'm
about him.
happy with
He
Rajat as a
had
batsman because it's not about where he bats. I think Sumak will agree with me. It's about entry points, right?
Entry
And
points.
throughout the season, his entry point has always been either too early or too
too
late
late.
because of the Devdutt Padikkal factor. Now, as long as Dev is performing at number three and take and you also have Salt and Kohli putting together a lot of consistency with their opening partnerships. So that doesn't let Rajat come in at around the 6 to 8 over mark.
He
Now,
always was coming between after 12th over or after 14th over.
yeah, so he's expected to get going straight away and hasn't performed because of that.
And
Yeah,
his injury.
And his injury.
and it
Injury.
was a fracture, and
Yeah,
he still managed to show up for the playoffs, which was
yeah.
game changer for us.
Jacob Bethel is back. Jacob Bethel, say hi to Jacob
Say
Bethel.
hi to Leander and
Leander.
Vishal.
Oh, look, she
She's
raised her
saying
hand.
hi.
She said hi. So cute.
Hi, Bethel.
Mm. All right. So I'd say he won us 2 games with the bat. Okay. He performed pretty decently in the first game against KKR, but he pulled up in two of the most important games. That was against CSK and against
Chennai,
KKR at Chepauk and Wankhede.
Mumbai. Yeah,
Then he also played a good enough knock in the final to make a difference.
yeah.
Okay.
The final
He was,
dismissals were all low full tosses and go just LBWs. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm just giving it to him. That 26 was a good enough knock, considering the
solid.
total of 190.
Yeah. I am happy with everything that Rajat Patidar has given us with the bat. There is only improvement from here because his
Especially for spin. Him
against
against
spin.
spin bowling
Yeah.
needs improvement.
No, but once again, whenever Rajat came out to bat this season, nobody bowled spin to him. People have started to catch on to that. And even in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, I think Rajat faced a total of 3 overs of spin across the entire season, which says a lot about the kind of reputation that he's built playing against spin bowlers.
Jitesh
But
Bhai
not about
captain.
it. Uh,
Send him for the toss. That's all.
Yeah, send him for the
Just send
toss.
him for the toss and then make Rajat the captain.
Yeah.
Rajat is
Jitesh,
good against pace as well. But another thing I have observed from Rajat is his hitting arc to the spinners or whoever has been from the
in
long
the
on,
heat.
straight to long on to mid wicket.
Yeah.
And then he has a very good pickup shot on the fine leg, and he has a very good cut to the third man or the point region for the boundaries. But I
Yeah.
would like to see
Last year,
more
last year we
more
saw
of
him
those
play an
extra
inside
cover
out to
shots.
covers very, very frequently. This year he didn't do that. He used to
I
play the
remember
inside
him playing those extra cover shots last season to Rahul Chahar and
her
another.
and Harpreet. I think Harpreet, if I'm not wrong.
I think it was Mayank Markande also.
Markande, correct. Mayank Markande,
So
correct, correct.
he had a glimpses of those extra cover shots. Like he has a beautiful stretch and a loft over the extra cover region. I would love to
Yeah.
see more of those shots from Rajat in the
Yeah.
domestic and the next season.
Because whatever he plays off the back foot is top quality. Okay, Rajat as a back foot player is beautiful to watch. I think across every batter that I've seen in India, Rajat Patidar's back foot punch through covers has been the most technically beautiful shot to
Shot.
watch. If he adds a sweep, he does have a sweep. He used the sweep shot very frequently last year, but somehow didn't pull up with the same this year. Um, I'd say
Because he didn't get much spin and bowlers didn't bowl spin to him.
so. Yeah, that is one very important stat. And if you look at it after the injury, it's kind of difficult to play a sweep shot with.
He has a fractured finger now.
Yeah. So when you have a fractured right hand, you are much better off playing straight because it's not bottom hand dominant. So you can play
Is
a lot
Rajat
of straight.
traveling for the India A games? No, right?
I don't
No,
think
no, no,
he
no.
is.
He's not. So yeah, that's been Rajat's side of things, and it's great to see he's never lost any away games so far as captain. He lived up to his promises. He made sure he came and said Namdu. Very proud. So that brings us to probably the most important man in this entire squad. Let us talk about Swastik Chikara.
Kohli.
What a
Yeah.
lad.
Yeah.
Crazy mentality.
Absolute
Walks the
Kohli.
bomb.
talks.
Bro's got to chill out a little bit though.
Yeah.
It's been fun, teasing him every now and then whenever he walked past us at the stadium. The Swastik Bye shouts have been pure cinema, and he always responds. So it's very nice to see. But okay, Virat Kohli. Uh, a lot of people had doubts about whether Kohli would ever go on to win an IPL or not. But the last 2 seasons, him changing his mindset and actually believing in the middle order has been very instrumental. And that hasn't started with the 2024 season, right? We saw him move in
2023.
that direction in 2023.
Three.
We saw him play with a decent enough strike rate, like the knock against LSG. There were multiple knocks that we saw. But the start of that was in 2022 when he wasn't able to score a single run, which meant that he had to put all his faith in players like DK Shabazz, etc., to come in and actually make a difference with the bat. Now, over the years, when you haven't had a middle order that has done jack shit for RCB, someone like DK Shabazz, even Maxwell, pulling up with the bat after a collapse from the top order gives you a lot of confidence to think, okay, I can work with this. And someone like DK inspiring that confidence meant that Kohli could go into the 2023 season with his newfound form, with the ability to play with a little bit more freedom, him and Faf opening together. There was a lot more freedom with the way they batted, and that was largely because they realized, okay, you know what, we can put some faith in this middle order. Once they got to that headspace, it meant that they could continue doing the same in 2024. We saw in the first half of 2024, he was still skeptical because it was a new squad. But when that team started to pull itself
Also, there
together, right?
was lack of a proper solid middle order or the batters after Rajat in
Correct.
2024.
Yeah,
So they made a whole round change and have four overseas batters:
batters. Yeah, to play Jacks and Green together,
Jax,
so
Green, Maxwell, and Faf.
followed by DK. Yeah.
So that just
So
gave him the confidence with there still being a number 7 or number 8 coming in as an impact player. That
yeah,
extra depth gives extra confidence to Kohli to fancy his chances or take those risks and play at
correct.
a better tempo in the power play.
Absolutely.
And even the captaincy, I feel like when he gave up his captaincy and after that it was Faf and everyone else, even Rajat, I think that was
The
also another
transition is beautiful.
factor.
Yeah, the
The transition is
transitioning has
beautiful.
been top
From,
quality.
yeah,
Even from Faf to Rajat, the video that they put out at the Unbox event was really nice to watch. Faf going to a different team doesn't mean that the red in him has left.
and the yellow.
Look,
And the yellow,
Yes,
at the
please,
end of the
please.
season,
No. And the
he
yellow
put
as
up
well.
red hearts. He put up a very, very
Faf helped
nice,
us win the
wholesome.
finals. Let's not forget
He
that.
did. He did.
Yes.
And people threw chapli
he
at
did.
him.
I love you, Faf. I love you, Faf. You deserve to be in CSK. A very poor decision to let you go. But
We
good for
love
you guys.
Faf.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, we
We
truly love
love
Faf.
Faf. Red
Yeah,
hearts.
red hearts.
So do I, Faf. You're seeing this, I love
They
you.
retained Moeen Ali ahead of Faf. We will never forgive him.
That's why I'm telling them to just take me. CSK, you guys need someone like me.
You guys left Hazelwood for Deepak Chahar.
Yeah, Hazelwood,
They left
Faf,
Hazelwood and
everybody.
Faf
I don't know what was
to
the
keep Moeen Ali
I don't know what was
and
the
Tala.
logic behind this. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem logical to me. It's just absolute. It was a blunder. It was a blunder. Good for you guys.
I
Horrible
was
for
actually
us.
scared that CSK might actually go for Faf as an
They
opener
should
along.
have. They should have. I even
They
last
could
year
have.
I thought they will go for Faf. I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah, I felt like
I thought they wanted their OG CSK team back. So I thought Faf
yeah,
was going to be a part
Although
of
they
it.
were having that spin trio and everything,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
thought
No,
they
I
were
thought
going
Faf
back.
they did a lot of emotional buys at the auction this season. Revolving around Ashwin and
it was a very poor auction. I don't know how people
yeah,
thought we were gonna win after
the
the
likes
auction.
of Ashwin, Sam Curran, etc.
See,
were a
that's
lot of
what it
emotional
looked good
buys.
on paper. That's what it's the 2019 mentality where
Yeah,
they thought, okay, the same team is gonna help us win in
yeah. Look,
2025. It didn't. It wasn't
over the
going to.
years, it's because the sum of the parts has been greater than the whole, and that is how Harsha Bhogle has deemed every CSK team to play over the years. I think this year the sum of the parts couldn't be greater than the whole because the biggest part was their most useless part.
I agree. I agree.
I will
Well,
not take
Vishal,
names.
with this comment, I'll tell you a very interesting fact. In the history of Indian cricket team,
There has
may it
never
be
been
any
good captaincy
format,
transition.
there has never been a transition in captaincy except Dhoni to Kohli.
Dhoni to Virat.
Virat.
Exactly. Yes.
That was the only transition that happened. There was
Yeah.
plans
For
and
Kohli to
was heading in a way,
Kohli to KL
but
was in the mix of things, and Kohli to Iyer was in the mix of things for ODIs,
but
and
all
they
the other
covered the
captains,
entire
it may
process.
be Kapil Dev, Sunil Gavaskar, Tendulkar, Kumble, Dravid, everyone was sacked.
Yeah, everybody just got sacked out of nowhere. So transitioning is very important, and it goes to show with the women as well. Mithali to Harmanpreet was fairly decent, but this Harmanpreet to Smriti Mandhana
Smriti,
transition will be an absolute
historical
fuckfest
moment.
from the management side of things. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen because if they don't win the World Cup this year in India, speaking of which, games are in Chinnaswamy. Opening game, semis, and the finals are happening in
Book
Chinnaswamy. Book
tickets.
your tickets, fill up the fucking stadiums. We will be there no matter what. If not to watch the Indian team, at least to watch the
Smriti
Australians because we know they'll be at the
and
Yes,
finals for
Perry.
Perry.
sure.
Yeah.
Perry.
Yeah. So the transition from Harmanpreet to Smriti is going to be a very forced change, which was supposed to have happened last year itself, in my opinion. After the T20 World
It
Cup,
needs to happen.
Yeah, it's
It needs to
necessary at this
happen.
point. You can't have a player cucking every single tournament.
Even the WPL.
Yeah, even the
Even the WPL.
no WPL. Harmanpreet has done well. She's won 2 trophies. That's
Yeah,
okay.
she's been clutch for MI.
But that also has a lot to do with the kind of players that MI
And
have
it's
in
the
the
team,
setup.
it's not only her.
Yeah. So when you have the likes of Nat Brunt, Amelia Kerr, captains,
Haley Matthews.
yeah, Haley Matthews, captains in their own mentality, right? It's very simple for Harmanpreet to go around doing her job. Same case with RCB. The year they won, they had Sophie Devine, they had Elise Perry, they had Sophie Molyneux, Georgia Wareham. All these guys are captains in their own rights. They've captained at the
Same with the
BBL level.
men's team this year. You had Virat, Rajat, you
Yeah.
had
Ritesh,
Jitesh,
yeah,
Bhuvi,
there was one more
Krunal.
as well. Yeah. So when you have players coming in with experience, it makes the actual captain's job much easier.
Easier. Oh yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, there was also a stat saying that the average experience of the RCB playing 11 going into the final was 91 games in IPL. So that
Yeah,
shows a lot of experience to not just play in the IPL but the knockouts. So
correct.
that just helps calm your nerves a lot.
Yeah. Look, Yash Dayal has 2 seasons worth of experience. Suyash Sharma has 2 seasons worth of experience, and those guys were our least experienced players
Hmm.
in the team. You have Rajat, who's been there for the past 3, 4 years. You have Virat's been there ages. Salt, yes, 2 seasons of experience, but he's been in the mix of England cricket for a very long time. And the entire middle order has been there for ages together. So good to see a lot of experience going across the team. But just because they have experience doesn't mean they're 42-year-olds, right? That's the difference.
He'll retire, guys.
I
Please. Please don't
seriously
say
fucking
it.
hope so. It's about time, man.
He has to retire for CSK's betterment. He's just ruining what he created.
Well, anyways, they have a good. They have sorted the squad out before the auctions. They know
Yeah,
whom
whatever
to release.
scams they've done,
They have it sorted
uh,
at least
yeah,
half of
all
the
the
squad.
players that we had scouted, the likes of Brevis, Matre,
Brevis, yeah.
Urvil Patel.
Baby.
Yeah, I wanted Urvil Patel in the auction. I didn't get him. Brevis, I wanted him as a replacement for Bethel when he had the hamstring injury. Didn't get him also. Ayush Matre, I've noticed, but I hadn't like scouted him fully. But now that
He's
he's in
ours.
here, yeah,
He's
he's
ours.
theirs. Let him have him.
Karthik Sharma to RCB next
So,
year.
Karthik Sharma, yes, I think Leander Somuk and I have been keeping an eye on him for a while. You've gone past my Twitter, you would have seen a bunch of tweets there as well.
Karthik Sharma and hopefully Arsmaran.
Smaran, please.
SRH.
No, SRH won't.
SRH might
They,
Yeah,
they
I
might
think they-
actually release him.
They will.
They
They will.
might.
Did the replacement happen before or after
It
the
happened
break?
before. It happened before.
So whoever they brought in as
I
a
thought it happened
replacement, they might
after.
end up keeping him. You never know. Yes, Maran is at SRH. Hopefully, we
They might
join
release
him
him.
from in between. Or else Devdutt is for the time being. We'll manage
I
with him.
don't trust him.
We'll
I
get
would
So
rather
Smaran.
we'll be having. So would you retain Mayank Agarwal?
look before the halt.
Okay. This is a pretty important topic to discuss. Would I retain Mayank Agarwal or not?
No.
I would say
No.
if Devdutt comes back, Mayank can leave.
Obviously, he'll be back.
Yeah.
But
So when Devdutt
Will,
comes
of
back,
course.
I'm not keen on keeping
who are
Mayank Agarwal.
replacements? We had only two replacements, right?
Second Mayank.
Mayank in for DDP and Blessing in for.
Blessing in for Lungi, correct. Yes.
That's all that. So I think Blessing is a straight choice. Go back.
And DP over Mayank.
No, but Blessing you can't keep because he
We
came
can't.
after.
Anyways, we can't retain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whoever came in after this one happened, you can't
Blessing
retain
in
him.
disguise.
Yeah. So yeah, we are looking pretty sorted for next season. Maybe Livingston's cash coming in. I don't know
I
if
don't
it's
think
worth
they'll
keeping
retire.
I
Raj
think
Singh.
RCB will stick with Livingston.
I think they're gonna release him.
You never know. I mean,
See, even
who is
Maxwell
there?
is the same thing. No, the same
My
thing
question
happened.
is, who is there in the auction? Who is a
Yeah,
capable
that
enough
quality of
Yeah.
Livingston, what they can offer on a day.
The next
If it
best
is
you would get
Livingston's
is Glenn
game,
Phillips.
Glenn Phillips.
Glenn
Oh,
Phillips
no,
is
no.
your next option. That's all.
No.
What they've done, they've pulled the same amount of shit in the IPL, both of them together. So
Yeah, but
irrespective,
if you look at internationally, if it is Livingston's day, he will
yeah,
cash in
that
everything.
is that is exactly what they mentioned in the auction. On his
Yeah.
day, his highs can be higher than anyone else's highs. He's not
And
had that
also,
day.
when I read about Levy and over the last 2 years, what he has gone through with the medical conditions
Hmm.
and everything, I think it is fair enough to give an year-long run. See, he'll be playing in different leagues.
Yeah,
He'll
you'll see
be
him in England. You'll see him in the 100. You
fair
might
enough
see.
time to make a judgment. I think he will
Oh,
make
yeah.
his comeback. So he has a chance to make it to the England's T20 squad,
Yeah,
going into the T20 World Cup next year.
yeah,
So England
correct,
have a good squad, but they have a again New Zealand coach who is playing Jacob Bethel at 7. I have a lot of questions.
correct.
Uh,
They're playing
but yeah,
better than Jacks at 6 and 7, which makes no sense to me. You
Jax,
need to.
Bethel, Salt, and Butler, you have very good squad for the 2026 World Cup. So I think
True.
Levy will be eyeing for the World Cup spot. So he will have to work his way out with all the leagues, England, and then to retain his spot in RCB.
Yeah. Now, what comes next? He'll have to not just the England leagues. He might have
Oh,
to pull up at the
why will
SA20 as
GT
well.
release Prasid?
Yeah, they
GT what?
won't. They're
Bro,
not gonna
he
release him.
purple cap. If
Hmm.
someone's missed out on the purple cap,
And
He's
his
just
then
brave.
economy.
yeah, his economy has also been pretty good. He was a
I,
good death bowler. He had like 3 bad days across the season, which is the same as Hazelwood,
I have a gut feeling that India will bottle next year's World Cup.
which is
Bethel
fine.
is not
Might
just
happen.
a he can play top order, but he's known for his middle order capabilities.
He is a middle order player. He's always been a middle order player. He
But
just
not
pulled up
at
as
7.
a RCA
It
in
doesn't make sense.
in the
Bethel playing in the top order. It
yeah,
doesn't.
unless it's against CSK.
Jax is a more top order player, and Bethel is a more
Correct,
middle order player.
correct.
What about Siraj? Oh,
Siraj, no, GT will keep
I
Siraj.
I
They
think
won't
they'll
let him
release
go.
him. I think they're gonna release him.
They won't release Siraj. GT
He was
still have
good
a
enough
good.
for them. He had the most number of dot balls. His
Dot
economy was
balls.
under control.
If they
Maybe
release
that
anyone,
cricket
it has to
column.
be Rabada. Rabada has
Rabada for
been
sure.
utterly useless. And
Yeah,
I won't
yeah,
be
Rabada
surprised
will
if
be
that
released.
ends up at CSK of all
No
places.
way. Oh my god. Don't say all of this. God.
Now, next year
What about Russell?
we
What
were
about
talking
Russell?
about no.
Russell, can we please talk about
Well,
Russell? I
let's
need
talk
to.
about Russell. The failure was predicted to the dot by me
Absolute
because
cinema.
yeah, absolute cinema. I look for the Russell prediction going well. There was also the Mitchell Marsh prediction going terribly wrong for me. I didn't see it coming. Nobody saw
No
it
one
coming.
saw
No
it
one
coming.
thought Mitchell Marsh would pull up like the way he did. But I'm happy that Russell, as a batter, didn't do jack shit for KKR this time. And it's about time that people start realizing that Russell isn't the same as what he used to be. He's much
Aging,
more controllable.
I think they
aging.
figured out how to bowl it to him now, Russell. Earlier, that was the
Kind of.
problem. They didn't know how to, go about it. Now,
Earlier, even if you bowled Yorkers, he would be able to cut you. I remember very clearly in that 48 of 13 that he'd whacked against us, Tim Southey came around the wicket and landed the most perfect Yorker on his legs. Somehow, with this guy's long ass hands, he managed to convert that into a low
West
full
Indies
toss.
power.
Just barely touched that ball, got the bottom edge of the bat, and it went for a flat six. So Russell back in the day was unstoppable. Like irrespective of what you did, you would never be able to stop him in 2019 or 20. But
Fair.
over the years, his game has dwindled, and
Age factor.
it's time to say goodbye. Shreyas shot to Bumrah. Okay, that is something that Shreyas Iyer has been playing pretty decently across the years. But credit where credit is due. One player that I've seen who's played this shot much more consistently has actually been Babar Azam. Yeah, believe it or not, despite all the hatred that I have towards Babar Azam, peak Babar Azam used to play Yorkers to third man as if it was nothing. Now he's not the same anymore. Okay, now
Of
he's
course he's
now
not.
now
Of
he's
course he
one. He's
isn't.
an absolute fuckfest of a player. But Babar Azam over the course of 2016 17 to 2022 was actually pretty fucking good playing that kind of a delivery towards third man.
But yeah, Shreyas Iyer, crazy. That Q2 knock is one to remember for the Punjab Kings fans. That
For
was
sure, for sure.
absolute clutch.
I
Had
think
Iyer
aside,
gone there, game would have been sealed much more earlier from Mumbai. They would have hunted down.
yeah,
They had their
I think,
chances, dropped a few catches.
yeah. For Punjab, after the Sehwag knock and the Ridhiman Saha knock, this might be right up there with
Sehwag's knock.
the rest of them.
Maybe that Paul Wall 30 knock is also somewhere there.
Oh yeah,
Of course, Paul
Valtati.
Valtati.
Paul Valtati, yeah.
Not maybe, it is.
He's there.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is unforgettable.
So
It's
yeah.
unforgettable for many reasons.
Okay, team of the tournament. I think let's wrap this live stream up with the team of the tournament. Who would be your openers?
My openers.
Sai and Kohli.
Sudarshan.
I would have Sai and
Jaiswal.
Kohli.
Okay.
No,
I want
I
Jaiswal and Kuldeep.
and Salt.
Salt. I wouldn't have Salt as team of the tournament because it would my two picks would be in between Jaiswal, Gill, Sai, and Kohli. I went Sai and Kohli.
Sajid, you go first with the team of your tournament. I'll just
Okay.
write down my names.
Okay, off the top of my head, I would open with Sai Sudarshan and Virat Kohli. I'm a little this one about whether to play Puran or Butler at 3. I will go.
Puran.
Actually, you know what? I will go Shreyas Iyer at 3, Surya Kumar Yadav at 4. All right. After which, number 5, I'll go Jitesh Sharma.
Jitesh for sure.
Now I need an all-rounder at number 6. Okay, Krunal Pandya. Okay, Krunal Pandya for sure. Not at number 6. I'll have him at maybe 7 or 8. Okay, looking at the bowlers, I know I want Bumrah. I know I want Prasidh. I know I want Hazelwood. Okay. So Bumrah, Prasidh, Hazelwood at 9, 10, 11. I will have Noor Ahmed. Okay. So how many foreigners has that been?
4, no?
Only 2 so far, right?
No.
No, you had Puran. Puran or Butler?
Puran. I had Sky. I had Shreyas and Sky.
He chose for Sky. Yeah.
3 and 4.
Sky,
it's been.
He chose Sky.
Yeah.
2,
my top 5 is fully Indian.
So it's only 2.
Yeah, it's been only these 2 so far.
Ahmed and
Noor Ahmed and
Hazelwood. Hazelwood, yeah.
So my bottom 4 is done. That'll be 8, 9, 10, 11. So 7 has to be Krunal Pandya, which means I leave out number 6 for an actual finisher.
Jitesh, right?
No, Jitesh plays at 5 for me. So
okay.
David.
Who 6? It's between David or
you can have Namandir.
Shepherd.
No, Shepherd was a one match.
Shashank Singh.
Shashank Singh did do well, but it's very skewed by the number of the final. Namandir is a very good option.
I would still go for Shashank Singh.
I'll go David.
Yeah.
No JFM. Of course, no JFM. Why would JFM be a part? We're talking about the best 11 here, not the worst.
This top 5 can easily be altered to have the likes of who's that? Gill and Jaiswal opening. You can have Butler at 3. You can have someone like Brevis at 4, and you could have the middle order stays largely similar. Yeah, but your top order options from Puran, Butler, Marsh, all these guys, you could pick anybody out of them.
What about Priyansh Arya?
Priyansh Arya won't make it to my team of the tournament. Priyansh Arya was a very hit or miss kind of a season. Prabhsimran, in my opinion, was better than Priyansh this season. Nobody realizes that. If you go back and look at the numbers,
who's your
impact player. I think given the team, my impact player might have to be a bowling option itself, right? Because I don't have a 6th bowler.
Khalil.
I mean, okay, fine. You know what? My impact player can be. Mm, I'll just throw in Butler because I feel like he deserves that slot. Butler has impact. I don't care where he plays. Fuck it, let him be there.
So my 11, starting with our my 11 brand ambassador Jaiswal,
Okay.
Kohli, and
Hmm.
middle order is pretty much same. Iyer, Sky, Jitesh, David, Krunal,
Solid. Solid.
Sai Kishore, Vipraj Nigam, Prasid, Hazelwood. Impact is
Rajnikant.
Naman.
Okay, so you left out Bumrah.
Yeah,
Fair. Valid enough. Yeah, okay. I kept Bumrah for the economy rates. I know he cupped the job in the semis, but
I have Sai Kishore for the economy.
I sure. So yeah, makes sense. Solid, yeah. Very, very good teams from both of us, I guess. I still feel like the middle order is a little. Could I have kept
Dicey.
another player at number seven?
Rep.
That is something that's
Uh,
out to discuss. But overall, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Who
Okay,
won the MVP this season? Was it Sai
Sky
Sudarshan? Sky.
Darshan, right?
might have been Sky. Just check. Can someone in the comments tell us?
I think the most fantasy points was Sai Sudarshan, most
Sky
Sky,
was
runs,
Sky.
MVP. Yeah, so I'm right. It's Sky.
most force. Who got the emerging player award?
Sudarshan.
Sai Sudarshan, no.
It's
He
against
only got.
Sudarshan.
Saisu.
Okay, no Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Okay.
Of course not.
JFM
Of course
was the
not.
MVP, it seems.
Okay,
Look,
brother. Whatever
we
helps you sleep at night.
our picks for uh, emerging player were initially between Priyan Sharia, Ankush Raghuvanshi, and one more, Vaibhav Suryavanshi. And that is largely because we just forgot that Sai Sudarshan is still young enough to
Mm.
be eligible
Yeah,
the emerging player award. He just feels
that
like
is.
he's been here long enough. He's played a knock like that in the 2023 final. He played throughout 2024, did well at number three. So you just tend to forget that Saisu is actually applicable for this role, for this award.
Yeah, I
But
had my
next
emerging
year,
player as JFM. That's gone.
next year, I am still in my Ankrish Raghuvanshi arc. If they play him in the top order, it is over for everyone else. Ankrish is winning Emerging Player Award next year if they let him play top three.
Yeah, well, I had my purple cap on Hazelwood. Had he played all the games
He would have. He
He
would
would
have.
have won for sure.
He missed 4 games, which is crazy that he ended up second
in
place despite that. So,
just 2 wickets
Second
left.
from
Yeah.
Ahmed.
okay, it's between. Okay, was he
Yeah,
second
second
or
was.
third? Was Hazelwood
I
second
think
or
he's
third?
third. Ahmed was second,
I
right?
think Prasid picked 24 wickets, right?
Yeah, it was Noor Prasid
Noor and
Hazelwood in the
Prasid
top.
24
Yeah.
and
Okay,
Hazelwood
so
was
Hazelwood
22.
was correct. Okay,
Most
got it.
That
sixes
was
I had
quite.
Abhishek Sharma, disappointment. Most
Disappointed for.
fours, Salt. Mm,
Okay, kind of worked, but not exactly because he just ended up hitting more sixes than fours throughout the season.
I
Most
would
fours.
keep
I mean,
Salt
look
in
with
my
the way
11.
Sai Sudarshan played, he deserves the most fours.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
throughout the
was
entirety of the season, there was no law of averages. There was no
yeah,
sign of weakness.
yeah,
That's some crazy stuff. I thought like law of averages will catch up to him in the knockouts, but
yeah.
it was just Gill catching
It
up with
was
law of
good.
averages.
Yeah. Great to see. Good season overall. Thanks, guys, for being a part of the entire season. All these fuck all little live streams that we've had in between. The lack of consistency towards the second half because we believed in Vastu more than we believed in consistency. Only love. Mwah. God bless all of you.
Yeah, it's been a good season, very entertaining season. I'm sad that IPL is over. No more entertainment. Have to
Nothing to
wait.
do
Yeah.
in life anymore.
We'll see you guys in the
Yeah,
WTC finals. Maybe if the England series is producing some actual good games, we might show
I
up
don't think it will.
yeah, we'll be there for WTC finals.
for sure.
Yeah,
South Africa.
this time for Africa, we'll see. Until then, take care. Have a great weekend. You have still 5 hours left in the weekend. Go enjoy.
CSK, please come back stronger. Dhoni, please retire. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah,
And take
thanks.
one last look at this beautiful jersey on this beautiful person. Campeone. See you lads. Good night. Shubhratri.
Adios, amigos.
Subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yay, stream India.